We are back in your life today. We're talking about how the Kiwi dream is to own a home. But rates, insurance, water, it all adds up and it's freaking expensive. So, Michael, why are houses so expensive to keep?
I don't know, James, but I feel like I'm paying. I'm not getting much back, Yeah.
Bills.
We are constantly fielding invoices about emails like with invoices and bills and stuff. It is unreal. Rates is a big one.
We got our tax return for our investment properties yesterday, and I'm like, look at all the money we got paid. And then the next line item was all the expenses. I was like, look at all the money disappear.
Yeah, it was. It's pretty big, right? But like, a lot of people don't think about this when you buy investment properties, right? You're like, I'm doing the right thing, buying the property, buying the investment property, buying whatever. And then there's a lot of cost to it, right? Typically, it's rates, it's insurance, it's maintenance. Maintenance is a big one, especially if it's on an older house. And those things do add up.
The older houses get slept on. You go like, oh, I want something with a little bit of character. But just like Nana, when she gets a little bit older, she needs to go to the doctor a little bit more, spend more money on medication, fix that hip.
Yeah, absolutely, James. I think when people are talking about, the cost of houses, it centers around like the deposit, the mortgage costs, the weekly repayments, interest rates. Those are the general things that people focus on because they are ongoing costs and you do need to think about them. The holding costs, though, are the things that get you. Council rates, house insurance, contents insurance, water charges, maintenance, repairs. They always need to be repaired.
Especially at your place, you've ripped out the bottom half of your house.
I have.
And then you never put it back together, kind of like relationships sometimes. And then your old man comes over and he's like, oh, I reckon we could raise the roof by about 50 mils.
Yeah.
And it's just like, that's where
yeah,
money goes.
I'm like doing the downstairs of my house and just like blindly rip out the bottom of my house. I like ripped all the gym off everything. So it was like, it's still like boxed in. There's still walls. It just, when we ripped it off, it's a little bit chilly now. Dan and I were looking at it. Dan's like, I reckon we could raise the ceiling height by 50 mil. And I was like, I reckon we could. Do we want it though? And he was like, I think we do. So now I'm getting an engineer to come in who's designing a steel beam so we can kind of like brace the floor. Yeah, it's very quickly. There's a saying something biting off more than you can chew or something like that. I don't know. And I was speaking to a builder yesterday. I was like, how hard is it to put a steel beam in a house? And he was like, they're pretty heavy, man. What's the access like? And I was like, oh, it's all right. In my head, I was like, that's not good.
It's not all right. It's down a long driveway.
Yeah.
And the other bit with all of these relatable costs, unlike Michael, who's completely unrelatable, is at least these costs, Mike, they're going down, right?
No, they're going up. Frustratingly, they're going up. And the big ones that are going up are rates and insurances. Now, like, I don't want to just get stuck on rates throughout this entire podcast, but there's a real danger that we do. James and I own properties in the Wellington region, and the rates bill down there is absolutely astronomical. And the thing I heard the other day is Wellingtonians now have to start paying for their water separately from their rates because that was included in their rates before. And I was speaking to a customer down there, and I was like, "What do you mean? Like, did you not have to pay for water?" And they were like, no, it was like included in the rates. And I was like, that's weird because it appears to just be leaking everywhere. And they're like, yeah, that's why we have to start paying for it.
Do you know what else Wellington has to pay for? Do you see the news about their new library website?
No.
They spent $600,000 on the council's library website.
I did see that. There's no baseline for that. I found that article really interesting because it's like, it's $600,000. I was like, how much is a website? Like, how much is normally a website? And every time I ask someone this, they're like, Claude can design me one. I'm like, yeah, but it sucks. Like, it needs to be able to function as a website.
But Michael, what are you going to prioritize? A new website or water? Like, you know what I mean?
The library needs a website. And let's be honest, 600
got
grand, drop in a
no
bucket.
money.
Yeah, they don't have any money. I think there's other things you could like argue are more frivolous spending down there, like the portrait of the mayor, who like when she was resigning, she
Tony's.
Yeah, she got like a portrait by, I think Kylie King Hazel painted it. Anyway, beautiful portrait. Totally unnecessary though. This is why I was saying like you probably focus on that more than you'd focus on like a website for a library.
600 G's.
Anyway, tell me about the rate increases, Jimmy.
So Auckland's governing body just voted to lock in 7.9% average rates increase for 2026-2027. That's after serious cost cutting, Michael. So they tried. Without the 106 million operational savings, it would have been 11%. So it could have been worse.
That's such a yarn, eh? Talk to me about the cost savings. What costs are we? Actually, I can't. I'm going to get stuck on this if we keep hanging on to it. So let's say that we've basically an 8% rate rise, right? Locked in for next year. Additional costs for an average Auckland home, that's $320 a year, $6.16 per week. That doesn't sound like much, but remember, that is the additional cost. That is not the total cost.
And over the past 3 years, Mike, there's been rate increases in New Zealand across all major cities that have compounded significantly. So Wellington is up pretty much 50%, Queenstown is 55%, Tauranga is 42%, Hamilton's 43%, and Auckland's cumulative increase over that period is 28%, which is actually quite a bit lower.
Yeah, it is. I mean, you could argue like we have some big infrastructure projects on here, City Rail Link. I mean, that probably adds some cost per year. I don't know if it's going to be finished. I don't think I'll ever step foot on that train because I don't think it'll ever be done. But, I imagine that passes on some costs. If we think about the key drivers, though, infrastructure spending, water investment, council debt servicing, that's probably a big one that people don't realize as well. Inflation on council contracts and population growth as well. Council contracts, oh, man. Every time I see some of the numbers around that, I get really revved up.
Go for it, Mike. Rev away.
There was, what was it, like 60 grand or something to remove a tree that had fallen over in Takapuna. You just said 600 grand for a website, although I don't have a baseline for that. There were some steps in Devonport that needed to be replaced, and that was like 150 grand or something. Like, they're just getting ripped off, and they don't seem to be like able to do anything about it.
Yeah, we really need to get that QS guy on the podcast.
What QS guy?
The guy's always ranting about government spending and council spending. We need to sort that out.
So that's rates, right? And again, I don't want to get stuck in a rates hole with this entire podcast because, man, we could.
Let's rant about something else. Let's talk about house insurance.
So the other big one that's gone up is insurances, right? And I actually can understand this much more than I can the rates because the cost to insurance companies has increased substantially. And a lot of the times I think people, when they see their insurance bills go up, they go, they're just reaming us. They're getting more profit. They must have these super fat margins on this. They don't, man. Like, it's just costing more and it's more frequent, the amount of repairs they have to do.
Yeah. So if we have a look at the average house insurance premiums in New Zealand was about $2,900 a year. That's up 43% since 2022. The average contents insurance is now $800. And then Wellington, their average house insurance, because obviously they've got a few concerns around earthquakes down there, $4,000 a year. I know when I bought my house in Wellington, I very much struggled to get house insurance. 17% of New Zealand households dropped their insurance in last year, Mike, due to cost.
Yeah, which is crazy, especially when you think like, I mean, some of it might be overinsured, but I think a lot of them would just be like, this is costing too much. I can't keep...
Why is life so expensive, Michael?
Life is pretty expensive, man. If we look at it in totality, the cost of house insurance in New Zealand has increased 916% since the year 2000. That is insane.
I think that hurts my brain in terms of how much that increased by. Hurt my voice a little bit then as well. 916%.
Yeah, but premiums are up. Like, if you think about why premiums are rising though, like extreme weather events getting more frequent with the Cyclone Gabriel, the floods, everything else that ripples out from that. Rebuild costs have gone up. Reinsurance costs are increasing on the global market. Earthquake, climate risks, older buildings in New Zealand as well. Like if you look at the older buildings in Wellington, Christchurch, they're pretty hard to insure.
25 years of inflation as well.
Yeah, 100%.
So Mike, that's the end of stuff getting too more expensive, right? We're like finished now. We can end the episode.
Yeah. Everything else gets cheaper from here on out, man.
Water's up 7%. For the people of Wellington, they have to now pay start paying for it. So that's
up 100%.
well, no, it's not a percentage.
Yeah, true.
So it's up 14% over the last 2 years, which is not good. Just like a basic need like water. You go, dang.
Yeah, water, man. So obviously landlords pay for the line charge on the water in most instances. So you're not paying for like how much water they use, but you do pay a percentage of it because it's the line charge. And that's gone up as well.
Yes. So water, rates, insurance, all of them are up. If you came here for like something motivational, click on another podcast episode because we've got some more for you. Common maintenance. So the first one, ripping out your basement. Oh wait, no, that's just Mike. Roof repairs, exterior painting, fencing repairs, driveway maintenance, plumbing issues, electrical work, heat pump servicing, which apparently you should do every 12 months, I'm told.
Yeah.
Appliance replacements, gutters, and weatherproofing. The list is endless.
And if anyone knows an engineer that could help me out with like the math for the steel beam, that would be ideal.
I thought it was a Vincent that was an engineer.
No. We've got an engineering firm that can fabricate the steel beam, but we can't do the math on it, James. The math.
They turn up in the pipes like a circle or something.
Yeah, we can fabricate the steel. We just can't do them. When I spoke to the builder, he's like, you need an engineer to do this, mate, or like otherwise you're in trouble. I was like, okay,
we can make it. We just don't know what to make. There's lots of bills. Obviously, hot water cylinders. I think we dropped quite a bit on hot water cylinders.
$12,000.
Yeah. So they go for $1,500 to $3,000 a pop. Have you ever had a shower in a property like pre the hot water cylinder being done and post, and like how much of a difference like with a really old hot water cylinder? This chat pretty wild for you. Honestly, that it is a game changer.
Change your life.
It did change my life. I was in the shower and I was like,
I think what's really worrying as we're running through the stats.
Tell about the roofs, Mike.
Do you know, I was helping a client buy a house yesterday in Wellington. And he was like, man, there's issues with the roof. I'm like, the roof looks brand new. They had just laid new roof over the top of the old rusty roof. I was like, I'm not sure that's best practice, man. I was like, I'm not sure about this one. I think actually as you run through the increases on a percentage, a lot of them are running, one, way over inflation, way over, I assume the natural kind of like wage growth is in New Zealand. And two, if you follow the log function of most of these, like even if we just look at the last one, the water, right? Water care price going up 7.2% per year on average. If you follow the natural log function of that doubles in 10 years. Right?
I can't believe we stand for breaking down jargon and you've thrown out log function.
I know a little bit of maths, okay?
What's a log function, Mike?
It's just the way you plot stuff on a graph, right? It's basically an exponential growth. Yeah.
There you go. You learned something new today for those who aren't engineers out there.
I'm going to get some engineer being like, you're an idiot. That's totally wrong.
Yeah, probably. Yep. There's a lot of those comments. So Mike, in summary, life's expensive. Don't own a house. Is this what we're saying?
Nah, I think what we're saying is you need to be prepared for the cost. If you own a house, like you kind of got to buy the house anyway. So like the cost is going to be what the cost is, but make sure you factor all this stuff into your budget to start with. If people are buying investment properties, don't just think about the mortgage, right? When you're looking at it, you're going, oh, well, the rent covers the mortgage, so it's roughly cash neutral. Maybe I chip in $50 a week. No, you have to actually know what the costs are for the property, what the holding costs are, and then do a budget around that.
If you found this a little bit depressing, and we'll put in the show notes like one of our Tony Robbins style episodes where we would like pump you back up, because I know I've listened to this. I feel a little bit depressed afterwards, being like,
you're not the one who pays our rates every quarter. Once a quarter, I get super depressed for about an hour after I pay our rates.
And you should really get them to email opposed to the thick stacker.
No, I don't get a lot of mail anymore, so I like getting the mail. It makes me feel important, you know?
Okay, so like in terms of some key takeaways, you can't really control these costs. You can't even it's not like you can shop around councils, right, as well. Making sure you've got unless you move.
Imagine if there was like the council and then some like Elon Musk psychopath came along and started another council and was like, nah, we're better, we're cheaper, we're more efficient.
Isn't that called an election?
No, I don't think it's an election. You just like, you know what I mean? Like I imagine if someone was like, no, I'm going to run a private council in parallel and we'll do better.
You reckon we could do it?
Nah, I don't reckon we could.
Okay.
Anyway.
So yeah, apart from finding a new council, making sure that you're like shop around for your house insurance, make sure it's a reasonable price. Obviously, you need to budget for these things. If you deal with it one-off costs, it hurts a little bit more. Averages is that it's probably going to be somewhere around like $250 a week is how much these things are going to all add up. But there you go. There's all your costs. Obviously, home ownership is still like a really important part of a good financial plan, but it's not all rainbows and unicorns.
It's not all rainbows and unicorns, Jimmy.
Cool. All right. Do you know what would be a rainbow and unicorn? If you hit us with a like, gave us a review, told Mike in the comment section how good looking he is, and we'll see you next time.
Cheers.